What's good? What's good? We are on YouTube. I'm gonna get the IG going. And this is an episode of the Syncrets To Success podcast. This is episode 107. I think we're over 100, which is insane. Some episodes are short, some are long. In this episode, it's going to be not really, I don't even need the headphones. It's not really going to be a music production episode. It's more of a workflow episode. So I'm going to be showing some patches, how to patch save, how I sort of speed up my workflow in Logic Pro. Before we get into that, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the description for some links for products I use. This podcast is sponsored by the great team over at ASTS. They provide some great sounds and plugins for us to use in our music productions. Let me make sure I get the YouTube video up and running also on my iPad here in case I see some comments coming through. Let me get to YouTube. It is another great day to make music. On weekends, I really lock in, and especially right now, we're in the middle of the holiday season. It's when I make a lot of stuff. I made five tracks a couple days ago in one day for a library. I just got asked to make a couple Afro beats for another library, so I'm gonna lock in on that hopefully today. But let's get into the patches. So what I was doing, actually, this is a track that I'm working on for the library that asked for like Afro beat stuff, but it was more like Afro beat mixed with drill, kind of interesting vibe. And In the process, I was trying to load up some of my sounds, and I started realizing that I have some things saved that I need to edit. So here's what we're going to do. There are actually multiple ways to save patches and things in Logic. You can save your patches over here in this left window, or you can now save like a whole template. Trent C Music, thank you for tuning in. Join, I got to put the site here. Go to YouTube. It's not letting me comment. Go to, let's see, youtube.com/thefingers1 because someone stole the fingers. I'm gonna pin that comment, and then you can see what I'm doing. So here in Logic, I do use templates sometimes. It just depends on how much of a hurry I'm in. But lately, I've actually been doing Upstate Entertainment. Thank you for tuning in. Lately, I've just been doing the start with a blank session. I do have a blank session template that has some of my favorite settings and things saved. And then now I can just load up patches. So I'm gonna show you the patches that I like to have saved. Now with I think it was Logic 11.1. Now that we have search where we can search our plugins, I don't need as many patches, but I do need the patches saved for the contact instruments. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So let's say I have a lot of like Spitfire Audio Originals drum series. So I can just go to the search here and type in originals, and it'll load up all of my originals that I have saved as components on my hard drive. So I can go here. I can load up this Epic Brass and Woodwinds or this Frozen String or Cinematic Pads or any of these. I can also look up something like strings, and it helps because sometimes I forget that I have so many plugins. Like I haven't used this Monster Strings in a while. So it's like, oh, I might use that. That's really great for doing like some Oriental strings. Yeah, the search option is insane. So now if I have plugins that are sort of non-contact instruments, the search in Logic is really helpful. If I type in strings, I can type in percussion. It'll load up the one percussion library I have. Maybe if I have some drums, I have Drum Kit Designer. So yeah, or I have like one 808 plugin that I really like using, Apeshit 808 from Brahma Beats, Drama Brahma. So I can just type in sounds that I'm looking for. Maybe let's see, piano. I have a couple pianos here, including the Logic Stock Studio piano and the vintage electric piano. So the search option is a game changer. It also works on effects. So if I had a send going and I wanted to load up like a reverb on the send, I can now search my sends and see where the send reverb is going. So a lot of great functionality there. So with the patches that I now save, I actually went through earlier today, going through the patches that I had saved and started deleting the ones that were non-contact because I can now look them up. So I can clean up sort of my patches that I have saved. So the ones that I do have saved now are mostly contact instruments, and I'll show you what that looks like. So for example, if I go to my user patches here and I load up this damage and lamp, this is like my favorite percussion style library. It has like damage 1, 2, damage 1 layered with damage 2 layered with LA modern percussion. I need to add some more. I do have like an overall percussion patch here, but these are all contact instruments. So now when I play this, I don't have my headphones on, but hopefully you hear it. And I don't think I have my keyboard set up. It's not early, but yeah, let me set up the keyboard here, connect that. And now you should hear, there you go. You should hear the drums coming through on the YouTube. So that's like a layer of damage 1, damage 2, and lamp. So now I have that saved as a patch because it's like one of my favorite go-to patches. And all these instruments are contact instruments. But the thing about the search in Logic is I can't search within the contact folder. I can only search for the contact 8 library. So if that makes sense. So for example, if I want to load up we're going to load up a new track here in Logic. This is a blank instrument track, instrument 13 here. If I hit solo and I go to search, Frank Schlick, thank you for joining in. Go to the YouTube channel and you can see what I'm doing visually. I can search for contact 8 here, but I can't search for like damage here because it's not a separate plugin. It's within contact. So what I have to do is go to contact 8, and let's say I wanted to save. There's a couple that I want to save. There's some 0G. What was one? Kepler. I want to save that. I use that a lot. So let's say I just want to save this so that it's ready to just open on one click. I'm going to load it up here in contact. And then what I'm going to do is save this. I'm going to label this. Maybe I'll label it 0G Kepler. I think it's called Kepler Elements or Elements Kepler or something like that. If I wanted to put the full name, I could. S. Lineage, thank you for tuning in. Jump on over to YouTube. You can see what I'm doing. It's called Elements Kepler. I'll just call it Kepler. And then I'm going to hit save on this side, and I can save this. Oh, Bong Priest, thank you for tuning in. Jump on over to YouTube. You can see what I am doing. www.youtube.com/thefingers1. And now I can save this under my, I should have a 0G folder here. And now I can add this patch 0G. Well, I don't even have to call it 0G. I can just call it Kepler. As you can see, I have the Mobius modular patch. Let's see if I wanted to load up some other 0G. I use 0G a lot, some of their plugins. So let's say I wanted to load up some other 0G plugins. I can go back to library here in contact and just look up 0G. And let's see, we have Cybercore. I have Mobius modular already. So let's say I wanted to load up Cybercore, which I forgot I had. I need to use that more often. Hopefully, I think this is out. Forgive me if it's not out. But this is called Cybercore. I haven't used it yet, except for when I did the sort of beta testing of it. So I'm going to save this as Cybercore. And I don't have to save it as 0G Cybercore. And this patch, now I can just jump over when I want to load up these patches. I can just jump over to the side here, and instead of having to open up contact, look for the plugin, let it load up, I can just click one click and it'll open up contact and open up that plugin. There's another 0G. I have a couple 0G plugins. So this is just my process. This is how, I might take an hour today doing this. I might do it during this whole video. Just going through some of the plugins that I've been using a lot lately and saving them as patches so that when I'm ready to load them up, I don't have to, go through figuring out how to load up. I want to do Mobius and I want to do Wonder also. So let's do Mobius here. So this is Mobius. I have a video review of Mobius and Mobius Modular. Check that out on my site, on the podcast. 0G Mobius. It's different from Mobius Modular, but they're both great for doing some of these, what do you call, like modular synth stuff. So I'm going to save this in my 0G folder. And we're just going to call that Mobius, but they are two separate plugins. I think there used to be a package. Maybe you can get a package deal on them. And then 0G Wonder, which is great for pad type sounds. So I think it's just called Wonder. And I had a promo version of it, so it's a press version, but oh well. And yeah, so what I can do is I can go in and go through all these, at least the plugins that I use the most, and start saving them. This is called Wonder, as patches. And if I wanted to, I can also add in different plugins here. I can have a whole plugin chain and save that as a patch if I wanted to add some effects and stuff. But in this case, I'm just going to do the default. Kyle J. Hartman, thank you for tuning in. Jump on over to YouTube. Beethoven, what's good? Beethoven locked in on some dope vibes. I keep saying, man, I gotta send these agreements out. Some dope for a dope project that's taken years for them to work on, but hopefully, fingers crossed. Kyle J. Beethoven, jump on over to YouTube. You can see what I'm doing. The YouTube is pinned in the comment there. So I am saving patches in Logic to help speed up my workflow. So that is 0G Wonder. So again, with the new Logic search, it's a lot easier to just search for plugins that are non-contact within the Logic search feature. So if I just load up an instrument track, I can just load up, look for piano and be on my way. But if I'm using native instruments specific, I'm saving those separately as patches in the, I don't know what this is called, the library browser or something on the left side. So Ash Yes or Ashy S, thank you for tuning in. Jump on over to YouTube, check out the what I'm doing. So I just saved. So let's go over that one more time. If I'm searching for, let's say I like glass strings. So if I'm searching for strings, I could say I want to use glass strings, which is not a contact library here. So I can search for that in the new Logic search as part of 11.1. This is from the Crow Hill Company. Great string library. I don't have my headphones on, but you should hear this really nice like glass string sound. But let's say I wanted to use like Albion 1. In that case, I'd have to jump over here, which is a separate search. I am Lotus Noir. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for joining that chat yesterday with music supervisor Paul Stewart and Audio Vibes. Shout out to Audio Vibes, incredible company, helping us get these sync placements and connecting us with music supervisors. And Lotus Noir also has worked on some great music that we've been pitching to sync. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Jump on over to YouTube. You can see what I am showing here visually. So if I'm loading up glass strings, that's not a contact library. That's fine. I can look for that in the instrument search here in Logic. But if I wanted something that is in contact, I'd have to save it as a separate patch, and I can now have it faster, load up faster. Fenris SRT, thank you for tuning in. Jump on over to YouTube. You can see what I'm doing visually. So all these patches over here should be now, I went through this morning, they should be now native instrument native instrument plugins. So if I, for example, load up ASTS, who is a sponsor of this podcast, I can load up Galvanizer, and when I click on this thing, it should open up their plugin, which has some great horror sounds. That's a hit. Some great, like they have some great sounds. So Galvanizer, I don't have to go through Contact. Normally what I have to do is, I'll show you the difference. So let's call this Galvanizer. So what I could do is search over here for Galvanizer or search for ASTS. But what I would normally have to do is go to New Track, Instrument. I can search for Contact here in the instrument search. And then once Contact opens up, I would have to also do another layer. Maybe I can search for Galvanizer in here. And then I can click that and it'll load up. So that's like 4 steps that it's saving me just by having the preset saved over here. If that makes sense. And you know, when it was Lotus Noir says it was great. Yeah, thank you for joining. Tori C, thank you for tuning in. When jump on over, Tori, to YouTube, you can see what I'm doing. So when I'm trying to load up patches and it's like, man, I use this patch on the last 3 or 4 songs and it's taking me 2 minutes to load it up, I can save 2 minutes just by saving it as a 1 patch click thing, if that makes sense. So let me see what else I can add. So Contact 8, I'm using Galvanize I already have saved. I'm just going to go to my library over here and let's clear the search out. What else am I using? I got Fables is a new thing that I just got that I want to start using more of. So, and I can also go over here. It's just a search within. Let me close this out. There's no search here, which I would love. And I have a lot of contact instruments, as you can see over here. But let's say I know I use I want to use Fables more often, so I'm just going to look for Fables. It is in alphabetical order right here. I just downloaded it. It's like 60 gigs. It's insane. And once that loads up, I think I clicked it. Let's see, did it load up? Let me click it one more time. It should open up, or my computer's blowing up. One or the other. There we go. So I have Fables loaded up there, and what I can now save it as is, let's see what track is that. This one, I think, Fables. Make sure that's the right one. Yep. And then I could save this as a patch over here because it is a contact instrument. I can't look it up here, but I can look it up over here. So I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to save it in my native instruments folder because it is a native instruments thing, and I'm just going to call it Fables. So for example, I have the Cremona Quartet. Let me create a new track. Saved as a contact patch. So I can't look up Cremona here in the instrument because it's not a plugin outside of Contact. It is housed in Contact. So I can go here, I can go to native instruments, and I can look up my Cremona Quartet, and that should load up the violin, viola, cello. And is there a bass in Cremona Quartet? I know there's 2 violins. Let's see what's in there. If I open up, there's 2 violins, viola, cello. So I can go here, and now it's loaded up. So again, anything that saves me time to look for the Stradivari violin would have taken me like 2-3 extra steps. But instead, I can just do a 1-click over here on my left side, and it loads up all 4 of the plugins. So to load up these 4 separately would have taken me, some time. So again, whatever you can do to speed up your workflow, do it. Like save these presets, things that you're using often, load them up, have the 1-touch click to get them ready to go in your music production workflow. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm looking at the YouTube chat. I'm looking at the IG chat. Let me know if you have any specific questions before I end this episode. Make sure to check out the description for some products that I use in addition to products and services that I offer. Let me see if there's any more that I can save while I'm waiting to see if any questions come through. Let me go to, I'm going to close this out. Let me see what I have here. 40s VO action strikes. I see one angel. Thank you for tuning in. Jump on over to YouTube. You can see what I'm doing here. I do use action strings. I think I have that saved. Iser X. I don't use that. That would be Keep Forest. And then I can double check to see. I only have. So I do want to save more of the Keep Forest stuff. Actually, this will be a good one. I want to save Devastator, Breakout Pro, Berserker Pro, the real Shimon. Come on in. Jump on over to YouTube. You can see what I'm doing visually. So let's say I want to save more of my Keep Forest presets that I use like all the time. So I'm going to go to library here. This is Contact 8, by the way. And I can make this bigger. Pause. It should have been bigger the whole time. And I'm just going to look by, I can look by brand. And we're going to go to Keep Forest. I actually have more than this, but so far I only have Evolution Atlantica and Ferrum saved. So what I want to do is Berserker, Devastator, Breakout Pro, Watchkeeper. So I'm going to just load up Berserker Pro. And typically I'm doing the like multis and stuff, but we'll just load up the Berserker Pro. And these are like medieval percussion sounds. I don't know if you can hear them. It might be muted. I don't know if the sounds are coming through. It is muted. So I would call this Berserker, which I thought I had saved also. And in that case, it's not the drum sound. It's more of the violin stringy sound. But it's really more of a percussion library. Let me go to like medieval ensemble. So you have some hits and stuff like that. Let me go back to all banks. I think the default is cello. But in this case, I just wanted to be ready to load up. So I'm going to go to save over here. It's a little bit confusing, but once you wrap your head around how to speed these things up, it makes life a little easier. So that'll be Berserker. I also want to get Watchkeeper in the sort of the speedy load up zone. So I'm going to look up. That's all the way at the bottom. Let me be alphabetical. Watchkeeper, another thing from Keep Forest. Really great ticking clock sounds. Of course, that's a bell. Where's the clock? Let's look for maybe something like this. So just click ticky-tacky sounds. Let me go to all. There's a lot of sounds in here too. Let me see. Maybe we'll default to this clock. But I just want to have something ready where I can one click and it'll load it up and I don't have to do all that process I just did. So this will be Watchkeeper. I'm going to hit save again, and this will be in the Keep Forest folder, Watchkeeper. And then another one would be Devastator Breakout Pro, which is, let me close this, another Keep Forest thing. I think it shows up as EV for some reason. EV Breakout Pro right here. Want to load that up. This is just, I mean, you can do a whole trailer track with just this library. They have so many sounds in here. It's insane. Just to give you an idea, this is alarm. They have loops. They have just all kinds of trailer sounds and stuff. It's, yeah, like I said, it is insane. I want to call this Devastator Breakout Pro. Then I'm going to save this over here. Save it under Keep Forest. Again, just really just going through the process. I could take, 30 minutes, an hour. This is going to help me speed up my workflow moving forward. Art media production. Jump on over to YouTube. You can see what I'm doing. Saving presets, speeding up my workflow in Logic Pro. That is Devastator Breakout Pro. I do have Evolution Atlantica. I have another one that's called Evolution Dragon. I think I want to get that in the mix. So I'm going to look up Dragon here. Hopefully it's saved. Oh, it's not saved. Okay. So now in that case, I'm going to have to load it up manually. So we're going to go to... I gotta wait on that one because I don't feel like looking for it right now. I thought it was gonna show up. Let me look it up one more time. Dragon. It is there. Okay, Evolution Dragon is right here. All right, so that's Evolution Dragon from Keep Forest also. We'll call this Evolution Dragon. And now I can save this as a preset. Again, saving the contact presets separately from the instrument presets. And I can save this in the Keep Forest folder here. That's that. This like the Eye of Sauron thing right here. It's just, that's a pulse. Again, they have a lot of sounds in here. Anything else? Let me go through. Do I have Decadence? I don't think I have Decadence. Let me look up. That's AVA Music Group, which I have a lot of their stuff also. So let me go to library. There's another one. SC. I forgot the listing of it. It's a Keep Forest like synth that I just because I forget I have it. I'm not going to find it right now, and I forgot the initials of it. So we'll go to AVA Music Group Decadence. I think I have Prism taped. I have Unity Trailer, Prism Urban Legends. I have taped Modern Pop Drums, which is the drums I use on most of my pop stuff. And Decadence I don't have yet. So I'm going to load this up. This will be Decadence. I can call it AVA, but it'll say Decadence. I know this is a percussion thing. That's one thing maybe I should start doing, like Decadence percussion. That way I can look up percussion over on the left. Then I would have to go back and rename all the patches, but it might help me at some point if I just look up percussion. AVA Music Group, like I could call the Prism stuff drums, like Prism, those are all drums. That's a synth, obviously. So that could be another thing. So if I wanted to, I can go in here and I know that's brass. I can say damage percussion. Then I have percussion, riser, stomp, strings. And I can start renaming things based on what they are. That's obviously strings. Rhythms, I can call this percussion. Hybrid tools, this is sort of percussion stuff also. Risers and whooshes. So if I wanted to be more specific, like I can go into all the stuff. Supercluster would be, for me, like more of a drone type thing. So if I wanted to call these drones or pads, I could say drone, drone and pad or something like that. And that way it's easier to look up. And this doesn't affect the actual name of the software. It's just how I have it saved, and it just makes it easier for me to search. So if I go to Logic, will it work if I type in? I'm probably gonna have to restart Logic, and then I can look up like drone and pad, and it'll show up Supercluster, which I forgot I even had Supercluster because that's a great pad. Why is Logic only on Apple? The Calvillo company. I don't know. That's it is a Apple product. So I've heard of some people somehow using I don't know if it's like Parallel or something like that to make a Windows computer act like an Apple computer and then getting Logic on Windows. I don't know if that stuff still exists. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't, but I've heard, or I think I remember hearing someone mention that they were able to sort of hack the system and get Apple or Logic on a Windows computer just by making the Windows computer act like an Apple product. Don't quote me on that. I'm not too sure. But there are some other great DAWs. I just use Logic. I used to use Pro Tools back in my day. But yeah, Logic now. Thank you for that question. I don't know if it's Calvillo or Calvillo. Apple Music is on Windows. Yeah, that's true. Apple Music is on Windows, but Logic is not. So you would think that Apple would try to get a lot of their money. They want to get money. I know it is optimized, obviously, for Apple computers. It uses the if you have like the M1 type chips now, or M1 and higher, M2. I think they're up to M4 now. I believe I have an M1. Yeah, no idea. Of course, if they wanted to figure it out, they could. But good question. And they could probably make a lot more money doing that. Was there something else? Again, I'll probably spend much of today doing this. I'm just procrastinating working on this song I need to do for this library. Evolution Dragon, Fables, Fair and Free. I could do more of the Heaviosity stuff. Let me go to Heaviosity because I just got, so I've damaged 2. I just got Oblivion. So if I go over to library, and I'll end with these Heaviosity stuff. So we'll do Heaviosity. Damage 2. I don't even have damage 1 up there. So let me load up damage 1. I do have damage guitars, but we'll do damage, and maybe I'll call it percussion. I don't know why I do it capitalized. I'll just call it damage for now. And we'll hit save. This will be saved in the Heaviosity folder, and this will be a damage patch. Save. I used to save all the individual banks. So if I go to damage guitars, I can type in these different banks. But now with Contact 8, it's easier to just load up the default, and I can search for the banks on the left side. That wasn't really much of an option. It was sort of in the previous version, but it's a little easier for me in Contact 8 now. If I go to library again, Heaviosity, I have damage 2. I have damage guitars. I have damage rock grooves. Forzo, I have Forzo. Then I have all the foundations, I believe. The foundation series are all free. So you can get Emo Choir, Foundation Nylon Guitar, Piano. All 1, 2, 3, 6 of those instruments are free. You can get those, and I have those saved the presets. Do I have scoring guitars? I do not have scoring guitars, so we're gonna load that up. Scoring guitars 2. I'm gonna save this as scoring guitars 2. So again, I take an hour today doing this, and it saves me hours in the long run. It saves me time searching for these. If I'm in the workflow, I can just one click set things up. I'm gonna save this as scoring guitars 2 under Heaviosity. Save. And then you'll see that there. What else? Let's go clear that out. Library. Heaviosity, that was scoring guitars too. MSC drums, I believe it's Master Sessions Ensemble. I have Mosaic bass. I have Mosaic pads. Oblivion is a new one that I got. Symphonic Destruction. So I just need to add Oblivion, and then I'm gonna end this thing. I just got this. I think might have been a Black Friday deal or some type of summertime deal. Don't quote me on that, but I did just get it this year, and I haven't used it nearly enough. Um, so I need to use it more. Oblivion. We'll hit save as Heaviosity. Save. And this episode is already 25 minutes long. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through that process today. And maybe for another, maybe I'll go until about 1 o'clock when football kicks off here in America and American football. But yeah, that's the process. Just going in and saving presets as needed, so that I can do a one touch, one click, open it up, pause, and then be off and running. So yeah, that's the vibe. Thank you for tuning in. This is episode, I think, 107 of the Syncrets To Success podcast. Definitely check out some other episodes. I just did some recent episodes on AI. I have some future episodes I got to do on AI, some reviews of AI singing plugins, and things like that. So stay tuned for that. I just did one using Replicate, which is a great plugin for getting synth presets for Vital and Serum based on sounds you already have. So that was the last episode. I did another episode using ChatGPT to give me instructions on how to create sounds in like Alchemy or Vital like synths. So the power's here. Someone says people say Cakewalk is a failure for being a Windows only product. I don't think I've used Cakewalk, at least not recently. I've been Logic for the last 4 years. When the pandemic hit, got into Logic. I was using the iPad for about 2 or 3 years before that, and then I was Pro Tools for like 12 years. So Team Logic now, still learning things. There's so much in Logic that I don't use because it's not part of my workflow or needs. So yeah. All right, I gotta get out of here. But thank you, the Calvillo company, for tuning in. Be sure to check the description again for products and services I use and also products and services I offer. And stay tuned for more episodes. I'll probably try to lock in on some more, definitely between now and the new year. Like a lot of episodes I'm going to lock in on and sharing some insights and things that I use. So that's it for now. And you says I use Cubase. I've heard some great things about Cubase. I have used Cubasis on the iPad, which is like a smaller version of Cubase for the iPad. I've used that. I've made some cues. A film I scored, I actually did a cue in Cubasis while on the bus, like going to work. I like made a cue for a film on Cubasis. So the products are here for us to use. So let's definitely use it. All right. Have a good day, everyone. Be safe and be